in Iran. Yunus, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure. It's the second time I'm on your show now, so it's great.
It is. It is the second time, and yet right now it's a very different time. Before you were on my show, that was when Khamenei still ruled Iran, and I think was shooting people in the streets for protesting, and now we're talking about a man who's gone, whose regime is in tatters, but still killing people and still attacking Israel. Give me your report. Give me your perception of how you see things right now.
So first of all, as an Iranian, I'm just very happy from the bottom of my heart that Ali Khamenei is dead. He has been killing Iranian people for the last 47 years. He has been torturing and hanging and just killing women, all kinds of different people that went against his power. So on that front, I just wanted to say thank you, Israel. Thank you, America. Thank you, IDF. Thank you, Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu. Thank you, President Trump, for standing by us. And I really salute Israelis, especially for standing by Iranian people, because I think they're the ones that understand our pain. A lot of these countries like Pakistan, a lot of like Muslim majority countries, they don't understand our pain. They don't understand that what happens when Islamic extremism takes over your country. So the second point I would like to make is that this is the beginning of the end. I've said this even as far back as the 12-day war, but this is officially the beginning of the end. Why do I say that? Because now the Islamic Republic has decided who their predecessors are going to be for 3 layers. So they have another, for example, they knew Khamenei is going to die, so they picked his replacement, and then they picked his replacement's replacement. So we have to go through the layers, okay, one by one. But that doesn't really matter, because I think there's a huge psychological blow for the Islamic Republic. And no matter how many replacements they bring in, the same as Hamas and Hezbollah, I think psychologically, when you kill Ismail Haniyeh or when you kill Nasrallah, that organization is pretty much done. But we shouldn't
keep going.
We shouldn't lose our focus. We should be vigilant in our approach, because a variety of things can go wrong now. Okay, things could go wrong. We know Iranians need to be united under the Persian and the Sun flag. So we have a transitional government come and take place. So Iran doesn't get separated into 5 or 6 different parts. And I've mentioned this in our last interview. So I'm really hoping for the best. My message to Iranian people is be united, be together, and trust Israelis and America to get the job done.
And what are you hearing? Are you hearing anything from the ground? Are you hearing Iranian people talking? Are you hearing from Iran? I'm talking about. Like, is there a sense now? There's a lot of videos coming out of celebrations in the streets of Tehran. There's a lot of that. But are you hearing anything? Like, how are people feeling? And the biggest question of them all, which is, are the police, the army, the IRGC, are they shooting at people, or are they backing down right now?
So every single Iranian person I know is celebrating right now. So don't listen to Western commentators, people like Mamdani and Andrew Tate and Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson and Jane Kruger and the rest of the imbeciles that say, oh, nobody wants this war. Every single Persian person I know wants this war. And me as a Persian, I'm happy from the bottom of my heart that Khamenei is dead and this war has started. And I wouldn't even call it a war. I would call it a rescue operation or a peace operation, because we've been in a war for the last 47 years. This is the ending of a war, not a beginning of a new war. So don't get it confused. Yes, I have seen the videos of Iranians celebrating in the streets, dancing, even in going in the balconies and celebrating and playing music and saying death to Khamenei, death to the Islamic Republic. So I have seen all of that. Even in London, there was a huge celebration in the streets of London with Iranian people. Just so Iranians, I would say confidently 90% of the Iranians are happy that this has happened, unless you're with the Islamic Republic. So the thing is in Iran right now is that the internet is not completely blacked out, but it is. It's very hard to get in contact. They keep jamming the signals. But the latest news I have is that, even Donald Trump said there has been some uprising in certain provinces, in certain places, but people are following the instructions of Donald Trump. They're saying, Donald Trump said, stay in your homes for now, because, it's going to be dangerous because, the bombardments of the IDF has started of, all the military bases, IRGC bases. We don't want innocent people to die. I'm sure when the operation is done, Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu are going to be the first ones to tell us, come out and protest.
By the way, I want to tell you something, Eunice. I've been watching some of the like not such pro-Israel media and stuff. Everybody's trying to play it down. They're trying to play it down. They don't understand this moment. They don't understand this moment. This is a moment that the Middle East is changing forever. First thing, Israel sent out its biggest military airborne strike of all time, 200 planes. They dropped 30 tons on Khamenei. It's the first time they killed a head of state, you know, and we know what this is. We know that this head of state is also the guy who's behind Hezbollah, Hamas, Houthis. We know that they're behind the Amiyah bombings in Buenos Aires. We know that they're behind so much death and destruction. This guy has such a facade with his nice turban, with his sweet glasses, such a kind of peaceful dude. He seemed like like a grandfatherly old guy, but he was a cold-blooded murderer. And we understand that. And so, this is a great moment. On top of that, Eunice, I don't know if you know this, but for us, we're just about to celebrate Purim. 2,500 years ago, we had this issue with anti-Israel folks in Persia, and finally Haman, who was the number one Nazi, was hanged, and his sons were hanged, and the Nazis were defeated. And it says that the city of Shushan was joyous, Jews and non-Jews, and so that's exactly what we're seeing right now. Let's watch together a little video of Reza Pahlavi. Go ahead.
Purim, Purim, we have a celebration coming, Nowruz, which is going to be 2 weeks, 3 weeks in Persia, which marks the first day of the calendar. So that, Purim and Nowruz are actually very similar. It's about new beginnings, fresh beginnings, because, spring is around the corner. Spring usually starts on the 20th of March. So that's when we celebrate our new year in Persian culture. So it's quite interesting. We have quite similar cultures as well.
What's the name of that holiday?
Nowruz.
Okay, good.
Nowruz, yeah.
I love to learn and hear, even on the show. Of course, we get a chance. Check out. I want to see your comments on Reza Pahlavi. He's making statements right now. He is the how do we call it? The potential king. He's the son of the Shah.
He's the leader of the transitional government, I would say.
Very good. Okay, I like that very much. Here's statements of the leader of the transitional government, Reza Pahlavi.
Be clear about how a free Iran will act towards its neighbors and the world after the fall of this regime. In security and foreign policy, Iran's nuclear military program will end. Support for terrorist groups will cease immediately. A free Iran will work with regional and global partners to confront terrorism in diplomacy. Relations with the United States will be normalized, and our friendship with America and her people will be restored. The State of Israel will be recognized immediately. We will pursue the expansion of the Abraham Accords into the Cyrus Accords, bringing together a free Iran, Israel, and the Arab world.
Pahlavi a lot of times mentions Cyrus. It's like a really big thing for him, and he had this statement, which I loved, which he's like, 25 centuries ago, we helped the Jews with building that second temple. I love that, but can you help me with one thing, which I truly don't understand? I understand that there's a lot of ethnic groups, Baluchis and others in Iran. Who does he speak for? Do these various ethnic groups feel a kinship to him? Is he an ethnic Persian? Do people relate to him that are not part of his ethnicities, or are there divisions based on those lines?
I think at this moment in time, majority of Iranians support him. Although we're always going to have separatist elements from some groups, such as the Kurds, such as the Baluch, such as Fars, Persian, Turks, wherever we have, many different ethnicities in Iran. But at this moment in time, everyone's united around him, and it's because we don't really have anyone else. He's a known character. He's the son of the last king. So people know him and people trust him, and he's a pure character because, he has been against the Islamic Republic all his life. Mm-hmm. And also, they saw what his father did. And I think his father was the first one that actually truly introduced democracy in the modern Iran. So I think for the transitional period, he's the best option that we have. Yes, majority of people are screaming his name. He's a very popular character. Does that mean he's perfect? Or does that mean, do I think he makes a phenomenal leader? That remains to be seen. And I think that remains to be seen in the referendum we're going to have maybe in the next 2 or 3 years. But what we are going to go through now, as I said, it's going to be a very transitional period for us. We're going to go through some rocky times. Okay, we have to be honest about it. We might have some instability. We might have some chaos. It's not easy to get rid of a dictator after 47 years and expect smooth sailing.
Right.
So I think he needs to manage those 2 or 3 years, set up a referendum, and if he puts himself up for the ballot, which I'm not sure he will, he could do that, and then we'll see whether we want a monarchy or a republic. Whatever we want is going to be decided in the next 2 to 3 years.
Wow, like an ancient Persian state, an ancient Persian people being reborn anew right now, like going through a moment in their history where like this is a chance to be reborn as a young nation, as you said, like 47 years of jihadism, terrorism, dictatorship, and now to be reborn anew. It's really, it's you have to have a great imagination. You have to have a great hope. You have to pray and you have to get together. You have to try to set aside differences, and you got to hope that the people that have the guns will not start shooting, and continue the death rattle, because it is a death rattle from here on in. It's just a matter of time now. It's a death rattle. So I'd love to see Iran reborn, and reborn in friendship with Israel, and reborn as actually a pillar of stability in the Middle East, and not a destructive element of the Middle East. So it's really something. It's really something to see, and it's a moment of liberation. I want to tell you at the same time as we're talking, I got to put this up on the screen. The war continues. 9 dead in Israel in a maybe hypersonic missile that has struck directly at a house. So it's a serious business. It's a war. It's not a joke. And yes, Khamenei is dead, but yes, the death rattle is still there. The rockets are still flying out, and we're still being challenged. So it's really, it's something to definitely that we have to pray for and ask for for God's mercy upon us.
Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that some people died in Israel today. Well,
yes. Only a few hours ago, a hypersonic missile hit a house in Beit Shemesh. There was people crowded inside a safe room, a defended room, but it took a direct missile, and looks like it exploded on them, and it was not able to withstand that direct hit.
Yeah.
And so it was So the war is very much on. Just this morning we were all about the death of Khamenei. By the way, also another person who died, who I had more personal feelings about, was Ahmadinejad.
Yeah,
I
heard that.
I really remember him on that stage with that podium that said "A world without Zionism," and he really wanted to kill the Jews. He wanted to destroy the Jews, and the fact that he's done gives me, that's the healthy justice of revenge in this case. What do you think about that? Tell me a little bit about him.
Isn't it so funny that all these people were chanting for 47 years, we're going to destroy Israel, we're going to get rid of Zionism, and then on the first day of war, they all died. So it just shows how incompetent they are. Ahmadinejad came to the United Nations and said, we will delete Israel. We will wipe Israel off the map. The first nuclear bomb we make, we're going to drop it there. And then after that, they said, no, we don't want a nuclear bomb. So which one is it? I thought you're going to disappear. But, look, it's all huff and puff. It's all misdirection. It's all misinformation with the Islamic Republic. That's why I call them a paper tiger. All they can do, and all they have been doing, is killing their own people for the last 47 years. Every time they're in conflict with an external force, they get a big slap. We saw it during the 12-day war, and now we saw it. Again, you deal with bullies by showing strength, peace through strength. This whole negotiation with terrorists, what Obama done, was a catastrophic failure. And I think that they're done. Look, they're done. Look, they say dictatorships, they kill a lot in the beginning and they kill a lot at the end. Okay? So, the Islamic Republic came into power by killing people, hanging people, and, basically making people escape from the country, because no competent person, no person with a conscience can live in the Islamic Republic, cannot work under the Islamic Republic. So now it's their last breaths. They're trying to kill as many people as they can. They're trying to attack the neighboring countries, because they know they're not. They know it's like, like a psychopath murderer getting caught in a room surrounded by weapons. And he's trying to wield his knife and trying to stab everyone because he knows at some point he's going to get shot and killed. So that's exactly what the Islamic Republic is going through. My prayers are with the Iranian people. My prayers are with Israeli people. My prayers are with the people that are in the region that could be attacked by this genocidal, tyrannical regime. And I think it's going to go on for 2 or 3 weeks, this war. And we should be just vigilant. Be vigilant. Be optimistic. It's, they say, don't kick a can down the road. Kill dragons at their lair. Like, don't allow problems to become bigger and bigger. Finish the problem, cut it from the roots, and hopefully we're going to have a great Purim and New Rus.
Inshallah, Bezrat Hashem, with the help of God. Yunus, thank you so much. Yunus Sadigani is a political broadcaster, investigative journalist, analyst, born in Iran, now based in the UK, an outspoken critic of the Islamic Republic, spending years exposing the regime's corruption, authoritarianism, manipulation of Western institutions, over 200,000 followers. Yunus, thank you so much for joining us. And I might be calling on you in the next few days as well. So please be out there and be vigilant, be strong, and stay safe yourself out there. The bad guys are trying to hurt us no matter where we are.
For sure. Even through the cyber world, they try to hurt you. So also be careful.
Yunus, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.
All right. That was awesome to hear from Yunus.